Well, hello. How's everybody doing out there this morning? Welcome to another live show here in the wonderful little studio in downtown Atascadero. Well, we are doing great. I want to say, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, no matter where you are. Thank you for joining us. We have a big show planned for you today. So we've got a lot of things to cover. So it's going to be fun. So Gail is working the message board and Wes is here. Say hi, Wes.
I can't.
Okay, he can't. He's too busy. He's got stuff going down in the city.
Why is the audio, the submix on the audio board, why is it down so far? What
do you, well, why? Is it?
Because that's the main volume to...
Well, don't we have enough in there? Do you want more?
No, leave it. Don't touch it.
Okay.
But why was it pulled all the way down?
I don't know. I probably did it. I don't know.
Yeah, so I'll just warn you viewers now. The audio is going to be all over the map today.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going on.
Oh, good. It's glad somebody doesn't know. So, we've got, we're gonna cover a few things. I've got it all written down here. This is the rundown. we're going to cover this guitar right here, which I just acquired. And this is called a ES-775. And do you want to show it now or you want to wait a few minutes? Well,
Just wait.
yeah, we'll wait. But anyway, I've got that. I also put the original pickups on the Johnny Smith, the Ibanez Johnny Smith. I also, as you can see back there, we got the pick guard for the L5. And I want to show that beautiful job that Benny Rodriguez did for me. And so anyway, we'll talk about that. So get your coffee. You got to have your coffee. You don't have your coffee, man. Jeez, oh my gosh. So the sun actually came out for a minute today. We've had what they call the atmospheric river come through California again. Good grief. Okay, God, enough is enough. Save some for next year. We're like full now, and then whatever rains, it all just goes out to the ocean. So who do we got here? We got Andrew. Hello, Andrew and Tom. Thank you for joining us. Jim Rolfe, what's happening, man, from Moore Park, and another Andrew from New Jersey. And Andrew was looking for a student guitar for his friend or something, and so he's got a student that wants a solid top guitar under $3,000. And the only one that I know of is, well, there's two. There's the Guild X150 or the 580 or 503 Eastman. Bobby Cox Jr. Hi, Wes and Rich. Thank you for joining us, Bobby. And then Paul, and then Gail. Hi, Gail. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk also, the Herb Ellis that I had. That somebody bought that. They snatched that. That was a real sweet one, man. Anyway, that's gone, and so is that aria. They're gone. So we're getting ready. By the way, no live stream next week. Unless, are you going to do it from? We're going to do it from Nashville.
I mean, we could try. It's not going to be in here, obviously, but
what are we going to do? Well, we'll see. Maybe a live stream from Nashville. We'll see. Or maybe we'll do it on Saturday or something. Now, there's a guitar show in Nashville, Saturday and Sunday, next Saturday and Sunday. We're leaving on Tuesday. So we're going to get there early, going to see my grandsons and great-grandkids, and then head on over to the show. And I've talked to a few people to come and join me over there, do some playing. Pat Flynn, Pat McGrath, Denny Gerosa, Mel Deal, Bruce Buckingham. He's kind of, I guess, kind of sick. It was somebody else. I hope I don't. Anyway, we're going to get, oh my gosh, Parker Hastings, yeah. So we'll probably get some video of that. And that'll be cool. So that'll be next week. And so we're excited about that. So look at, I also just bought a new car. Well, it's not new. It's old. It's new to us, but it looks brand spanking new. It's a 2016 Denali Yukon XL. It's like a Suburban, and it's got all these bells and whistles, DVD player, sunroof, and everything. It's all decked for going on trips. I don't know. Every time we go to a guitar show, we had a Ford Flex, and we had, which I like. It's not quite as big as this. Suburban, but my gosh, we got it packed to the gills, and you can't get anything else in there. But now we have a little more space, so we can bring more junk, and actually have maybe some people look at it. So the song I just played was on Green Dolphin Street, and since it's coming up on Patrick's Day, Patty's Day, or wasn't there St. Patrick Day? I don't know. There was some explanation somebody wrote to me. It's not called that. It's called something else. I don't know. But anyway, we've got anything that's green, that will go with the theme, right? Old town. Let's see. Old town, old town. Old town looks the same as I step down from the train. There to meet me is my mama and my papa. Down the lane I look, and here comes Mary. She was 16 when oh, never mind. There's some dirty words that go with that. And so, green grass a home. So, you want to do this guitar?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Oh, Gail, honey, you know what I forgot? Gosh darn it. I forgot the archtop, how to rate an archtop sheet. It's on my computer. You'd have to go to Word and open it up. It should be on there and print it up. And then I also have one in there that I forgot that I rated this guitar with it. So I decided that we needed to have some kind of rating system on these things because it gets so confusing when you got these guitars and how to differentiate the one from another and stuff. So I made this sheet of 21 questions, and I will go over that in a little bit. All right, so this is a 775. They only made it for 2 years. It is a 175 body. It's got the triple ply binding here. 175 body, so it's a laminate maple, sides and back. It's got a ebony fretboard, and it's also got the pickup joining on the 22nd fret. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So a 175 is more like 24, I don't know why they call it the harmonic, it doesn't seem to matter really. But anyway, I don't like that pickup there. Neither does Kenny Burrell, I'm told. So it's got Howard Roberts inlays. Look at that. The Howard Roberts inlays, the old Epiphone inlays on there. Ebony fretboard. And it's got 5-ply binding around the headstock with that unusual insignia. It's kind of like an F-hole with a bird flying through it or something. And I asked Greg DeLordo, my friend who worked for Gibson and Heritage for many, many, many years, about this guitar. And he said, yeah, they brought it out because they wanted to dress up a 175 and replace the pickup. And by the way, on this guitar, when I looked at the tailpiece and even the pickup covers, it's like the plating is super good. And so I asked Greg about that, and he said on these guitars, they were triple plated. And I think it's like nickel, brass, gold, and it could be 22 karat. But it's like the gold is real dark, and it's crazy. And he said, yeah, it's super good super good binding, or not binding, plating on this. Now, I've seen only 2 of these at guitar shows, and I played them both and thought they were excellent. Here's another selling point of the guitar. Of course, it's got like the L5 pickguard, but it's also got, wait for it. Okay, do you have a, okay, thank you, sweetheart. It's also got, look at the back there, back of the neck. It's got a 3-piece neck. So it's a 3-piece maple neck as opposed to the mahogany neck on a 175. So isn't that beautiful? This is the nicest one I've ever seen, and that's why I bought it. I've seen them before, and the pick guard has gassed off and ruined the pickup covers. So this one has been very well cared for, and so I decided to pull the trigger on it and get it. So here we are now. Now here we are playing it. So this inlay on the headstock, I said, what the heck is with that? And his response was, Greg's, that it comes from a ES artist. If you type in an ES artist, you'll see that headstock. And I sent you the link to one of those, Wes.
Right.
There it is. There's an artist. And that's a 79. And I had never seen that before. These guitars didn't exactly take off. They've got all these extra switches to make things sound different, you know. But there it is. That's an artist. And there's that headstock. Yeah, look at that. So that's where this headstock comes from. And the binding, I forget, is also on a Les Paul with some fancy Les Paul.
So you said they only made those for 2 years, 91 and 92, or?
Yeah, it could be 2 or 3. I don't know. I think the what replaced this was this guitar right there, the L4CES. So they did this, and then they stopped. I guess it didn't exactly take off, but they went to this with a solid top of spruce and the L5 tailpiece, ebony fretboard, pick up where it belongs, and I don't know. I think the guitar sounds pretty cool. It's a very dark sounding guitar. So it's a dark sounding axe.
It does sound a lot kind of like that L4, I think.
Yeah,
It does.
we could compare them in a minute.
Yeah.
You want to do that now? Or?
No, but that's the vibe I got from it
Yeah. Okay.
right away. So what's just go quickly over the dimensions of it.
Okay, sure. 16 inches, 3/8 or 5/8 body depth, 24.5-inch scale length. Yeah, so it's like a 175. The neck, it's funny. Hey, Wes, could you bring up that brochure that I sent you?
Yeah.
Greg sent me this picture out of the brochure, and it says on there, it's got the 490 pickups on it, the Gibson 490s, 20 fret ebony, and then you see it also says, excuse me, what was I looking for? God darn it. Oh, the maple neck, 3-piece figured maple neck. Yeah, go figure. So yeah, it's a figured maple neck.
What does that mean?
It's got all these grains in it. Oh, but what I wanted to show that one more time. See what it says about the neck profile, something like that? Neck shape, rounded jazz. I've never heard that before. So, yeah, when you look at it, I was hoping the neck would be a little thinner than what it is because of the 3-piece. But it is... It reminds me of an older Gibson. Anyway, so I notice we have some more people here. Danielle and good evening from Cologne. Wow. Did you see that, Wes?
Yeah.
France? Is that France? I assume it is, right?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't know. Maybe not.
Okay. Gibson. Mark. Hi, Mark. There again, if you want 100% tone, you have to pay for it. Yeah, so here is this. Let's see. Let's set this up properly. Properly. I just got my nose fixed. Now my mouth doesn't work. Robin Riggs. Hi, Robin Riggs. Anyway. All right, so this is a...
Where are you going now?
Well, are we done with this guitar?
No, I think you should play something on it.
Play something else?
Yeah, or I mean, you played that first song with it, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know, a lot of more. There was only 20 people watching. Now there's 55.
Oh.
So maybe, do you have another track you could play or something real quick?
You know, I do. I'm going to play my song, West Side of Heaven. Well, you'll have to balance it.
Okay.
Whoa. You want to start again?
Yeah.
All right. Look.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's dark, huh?
Yeah, man, that thing is. Can you play it acoustically so they can hear it?
Mm-hmm.
And then W.C. Ray. Hold on.
It doesn't have a whole lot. It's got more than I think. I don't know.
Play like a single note thing with no pickup.
All right.
Nice. Solid top, back, sides.
No, it's laminate. Just like a 175. Laminate. Okay. So it's laminate, sides and back. Laminate, sides and back.
So, is it more expensive than a 175, or what's the deal with like the just because they don't make them anymore, so they're rare.
Yeah, they didn't take off, So that doesn't, I don't know how to explain it, but demand is what drives price. So if there's a demand for these, price goes up. There's not such a big demand for them, so the price kind of hovers around 45 to 5. Which buy a nice 175. But they've made as of 90, what was it, 92 or 90? Let's see, 99, 2099, 50 years from when the 175 was first introduced. They made 37,000 of those instruments. So this, I don't know how many they made. A couple hundred? I don't know.
Right.
So anyway, there's that 575, and like I said,
That's a 775.
Thank you, 775. 575 is Heritage, which we ought to compare to this sometime. But you start doing all these comparisons, and it's like drives you nuts. So that's why. Let's talk about this, Wes. This is called How to Rate an Archtop Guitar with 20 questions. And you number it like you would a hotel stay, on one through 5, 3 being really no opinion, right? So, I don't know, I don't know if other people are going to want this, but we'll do this little video on it, and that's what we're doing right now, and then I'll post it onto the library, and then put this piece of paper, and you can download it from there. So basically, you have to you get the guitar, and then you rate it on how you feel about it. So playability, comfort, as far as the body dimensions. And that's something that really is something that's really important, because body dimensions, is it too big? Is it too small? Do you feel like you're crunching over it? Do you feel like you're riding it? So, this guitar is a little fatter than a Heritage and a Eastman. So, sometimes that can be awkward, So you've got to rate that. Okay, then you rate the top. You say, what is the top? Solid, laminate, blah, blah, blah. And how do you feel about that? So then you put a check there, And then here's another important question. Where does the neck join the body? So this joins the body on the 14th fret, which is like most guitars, most jazz guitars. Some like a Heritage, not a Heritage, like a Hofner, with so many more frets, it might be the 16th fret, which case it feels a little further. Some of the older guitars would join it at the 12th frets. So, you got to figure out, what do you like? Do you like that? So number that. The binding, and when you're looking at a guitar, you want to look at the binding condition of the binding. So that's another thing you want to make a note of. And then I think here's something that's important: just the overall beauty of the guitar, and where's all the nicks, and you put that down, because I like a guitar that, like, oh man, that is so cool. I love the way that looks, and guitars are part art and part instrument. It's totally art. Like so. And then you rate the hardware. What is the condition of the hardware? Is it gassed off and decrepit? And so you rate that. Playability of the neck and the thickness of the neck. I think that's something that really needs consideration. Although you can generally adapt to a lot of different things. But this particular neck, to me, has the feeling like I could actually put my thumb over it, which I can never do that on the thinner necks. For some reason, I can't do that. I've never been one to do that. Anyways, the neck material, the fretboard material. If some people are so bent on ebony, so if this has rosewood, you'd mark it maybe a 2. If you're totally into ebony, you give it a 5. Okay, scale length. What is the length of this? What works for you? Is it 24 and a half, 25, or 25 and a half? Which is it? Nut width, another important issue to consider, right? 11/16 is a good average nut width. Usually, like a lot of Eastmans are 1 3/4. If you're playing a lot down here and you got big fat hands, 1 3/4 is kind of nice. The Johnny Smith 1 3/4. I personally have been getting into 1 9/16. So I'm tempted to take some of my guitars and put a different nut on it. So, nut width. The fret profiles. Okay, so when I got this guitar, the frets on here, it wasn't like they were poking out. They weren't poking out because it's got binding on them. So they weren't sharp. However, the end here it's like humped. So in other words, it's stuck up high here, right here. And it's like you put your hand across it, and then it's like, man, this is like speed bumps like this, So I spent a lot of time, and I filed. I didn't get as much up here because I don't play up here, but I took just the end of the fret and kind of took it down a little bit. So these frets were perfect, and so I did that. I'm not a guy that wants to have my frets dressed and all that stuff. I like a naked fret. When you take it to these luthiers, sometimes I'm not that happy after they do, a leveling and stuff. For most of the time, I don't think you need it. Okay, fret profile, and of course you're going to look at it and see if there's a bunch of devits in it and stuff. Pickup type. Sound. Okay, you look at it and you think, and then you got to hear it objectively and think, make a judgment on the sound. Maybe circle one of these: warm, punchy, fat, thin. Okay, and then rate that sound. Now here's another thing that comes into play right there, is playing applications. So when you get the guitar, you got to say to yourself, when am I going to be playing this thing, and what kind of things am I going to be doing? Am I going to do solo work? Am I going to be playing with a trio, a quartet, a big band? Am I going to be playing blues? You're not going to, am I going to be at high volumes? So you got to make that judgment. And then the feedback potential, Usually a 17-inch with a floater has a tendency to feed back pretty good. Some guitars can just feed back, man. They just do. Pickup type and the position like we talked about. So you would rate that. And then attainability and rareness of the guitar. And so you might, you look at it and you think, how many of these have I seen, and is it attainable? It's one thing to get like like that red L5 I got. That's a one-off kind of thing, and is it attainable? And it's totally rare, but it's not so attainable. And then you look at it, a guitar, and you think price and value. Is it worth it? And is it going to be worth it someday? That's another thing to consider. And then finally, you want to get a good look at the tuners. Tuners can be replaced, but you want to make sure that they don't have flat spots or in there or something. And then the bridge type, you want to take a look at the condition of the bridge. If it's a tune-o-matic, a lot of times, it's so corroded and stuff, and it's kind of a mess. If it's an old rosewood bridge, a lot of those are very dark sounding because the wood is soft. So you got to look at that. And then lastly, you want to make sure the truss rod works. Okay. So when I looked at this guitar here, and there's what I wrote. Okay, so I think I wrote 5/8, 3 5/8 on the body depth, and I ranked that a 4 because it's fat. It's fat. There's no question about it. Sometimes the like 575 is a little more comfortable, and so this is how I kind of rated this guitar that we're looking at right here. Neck joins the body on the 14th fret. I put a star there because that's definitely means a lot. That's a big deal to me. Another big deal is the neck material. Not so much the fretboard material, but the back, mahogany, or I like a 3-piece neck or 5-piece. Not with this. To me, I would label this sound as punchy and fat, warm. It's all of those. So the pickup is on the 22nd fret, like we talked about. That's a big deal to me. I would use this guitar in probably any playing situation, except, a classic rock gig or something. And price to value, too much. The plating and the flats, the plating is beautiful. It's just fantastic. So I rated it as a 4.66, which is pretty dang good for some picky old dude. So that's a good way, I think, when you look at your guitars, because I'm looking at mine and I'm thinking, you appreciate them for what they are, and then you think, I got to make some decisions on what I like, because I can adapt to most everything. So anyway, I hope that was. Did that make sense to you, Wes?
Yeah, for sure. I think you should send that to me, and then I'll make it a Google Doc, and we can put it in the description. And then people can look at it and then print it up, and so people can have it and just be like a public document.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So wish you would have done that before, but that wouldn't have been your style.
No.
Like, yeah, just on the fly. Here we go. W.C. Ray says, how can dressed frets, level and shaped, be a negative?
Because they get them too low sometimes. Fret height, I think, is so important. You get them too low, you get them too high, it changes the. If you have a super high fret, not good. You have a super low fret, not good. So the more you start taking off material off those things, you know, like I said, that's the first thing everybody does is, yeah, let's dress those frets. Let's start taking some material. Let's level them. Man, these like this guitar, all of my guitars that I have showing right here, I wouldn't level, and they've got action so low you could breathe and it would fret. So sometimes it's all about the neck adjustment. Okay, so you got to make sure that that's right on and stuff. So that I think a fret level, you know, is more of a last resort thing as opposed to, yeah, let's go get our frets leveled, you know.
Got it. Jasper asks, Rich, based on what criteria should one change tuners on a guitar?
Well, that's just, I don't know. I don't know because, you know, we were all told back in the 60s and 70s on the Gibson, when the Shallers came out, oh, the Gibson tuners are terrible. Now everybody wants the vintage Gibson tuners. So, you know, I think they got tuners dialed in for a lot of years now. So appearance, you know, if they're sticky, you know, and you can't clean them. But don't drill more holes. Don't, you know, they make so many configurations now. Don't drill new holes. A new tuner does feel good. I mean, if you've got an old guitar from the 60s, you start turning those tuners. Some of them, they're dirty. They're hard to move and stuff. So keep those old ones, and they're very hard to clean. You can't get the back off those. It's got a little hole. You can spray some junk in there, but they're hard to clean. So only if they're giving you problems. Now, don't confuse a bad tuner with a nut that's binding. So if the nut is binding, if you're bending strings and you find it going out of tune, in and out of tune, you better check the nut first. Get some graphite in the nut and make sure that's nice and slippery. Excuse me. Anyway, yeah.
I have a question. Is there is that system that you came up with all those questions, is there something that, like, you know, guitar guys do to rate guitars like that? You know, like, say, like Larry Briggs or whatever, you know, who's a guitar dealer, vintage guitar dealer. Does he have a system where he rates every, you know, vintage guitar that he gets, no matter whether it's archtop or whatever?
Well, Larry,
You know.
Larry's kind of he's a rare one because he doesn't do that much playing.
Right.
So all of the playing aspects of the guitar doesn't matter. It's condition and rareness for him. And then I don't even know about the condition thing because you've seen Larry's guitars. He doesn't do a whole lot of fixing up on them, you know. So
Right.
you get there and they got 4 strings on them, you know. So
Right. Or, well, I mean, what about a collector that does play and that does make adjustments to their guitars?
well,
Have you ever seen a list like what you have made, is what I'm asking.
No, but I think they have it in the back of their mind, you know, when they look at a guitar. But yeah, they don't have a list all written out that I've seen.
Right.
Yeah. Pat Evans, hello.
That little system you got there is cool, you know. You could kind of coin that and make that your
Coin it, yeah.
You know, I mean, honestly, you could take that and write a book about that.
If you ask me, I could write a book. Well, yeah, I think it's things to consider. I have bought many guitars based on me playing blues, and I don't play much blues. You know, but maybe it's a pipe dream, or it's something I just don't put together. I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know. I think it's a good little list here. Will WC said it makes no sense. Are you talking about the fret leveling?
I'm sure he
Level
is.
and shape being negative. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Go. I guess, have you had it done a few times? You know, if you. I think they level it when you might not need it. You know, so.
Wait, weren't you gonna get that fret leveling, that laser thing?
Oh, that was, yeah. I didn't get it. I didn't know. Yeah.
That sounds.
It was
interesting.
yeah. You can shoot that's to see if you have a high fret. You shoot a laser down here, and then if you see one of the frets light up, oh wait a minute, that fret's high then. So, but you can tell when a fret is high if the next one if the note after it's buzzing or the note before it is buzzing. You know, so if I have a buzz here on the 5th fret, it's this fret here that's bad. The one after it is a little level. Then you just get a straight edge on it and see if it's high or not. And then if it's high, then boom, 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 knock it down. You know, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So that's the name of that tune.
So, on that rating thing, we're gonna have to do a video where we watch you rate a new guitar that you have, right? I mean, that
Yeah.
only makes sense where you're gonna go talk about the list and then be like, here, I have this new guitar that I just got in and I'm gonna show you what I do. And you go through like the neck profile, see on this one, and then you're gonna be like, all right, I give it this one a 3. You know what I mean? And just
Yeah.
go through the whole process. That'd be a great video.
Yeah, I suppose it would. Yeah. Okay, we'll do that. Yeah. So it's a way to focus your thoughts about the guitar, because some things are so overbearing. Like the preconception of an L5. It's the holy grail. So you when you have one, then you start looking at it and you playing it and you think, boy, it sure is big. It's oh, my shoulder hurts. If you're not holding it right, and stuff. So I don't know. Yeah, this would be good. This would be good. Some guitars are too small. You feel like you're like this on them. It's like playing a ukulele or something.
W.C. Ray says that frets don't always wear evenly. Everyone doesn't always have a feather touch like Rich.
Well,
Intonation is paramount, he says.
well, that's true. That's true. Well, removing high frets, yeah, absolutely necessary. If it's got a buzz and stuff. I mean, isn't that how you would tell if it's got high fret is a buzz? So if you got a high fret and it's buzzing, then you got to fix it.
Yeah. All right, let's we can move on to some other questions, but I really like this
Rating thing?
yeah, there's nothing like this out there. We need to get this out to the world.
It came to me in a dream.
Well,
It came to me in a dream.
then that means it's yeah. I'm telling you, we should write a book about it. And get it into every Guitar Center,
Oh,
in the country and get it on Amazon, make some money off it.
yeah. Speaking of
Yeah,
money,
I'm a writer. I want to write a book,
oh,
so
okay. Well, let's do it then.
it'd be fun.
You write it. I'll dictate.
Yeah, you just talk, and then I'll turn into what you say into actual,
Something that somebody.
coherent thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so let me go back up here real quick. Oh yeah. So
Let me go back on this fret leveling thing one more time.
okay.
Okay, because I've had my guitars fret leveled on, oh yeah, let's get this guitar. Yeah, we need to do a fret level. Okay, good. All right, so he does it. Now I'm not that happy with it. They took off too much. They took everything off a little too much, and it's like, so understand where you're coming from, WC. Absolutely, you got it. The frets, it's all got to be right, no question about it. But sometimes I think these luthiers, it's kind of like luthiers. They do that as an automatic response thing, and it's like, eh. But it's kind of, I don't know how to compare it to. What would you compare it to? Like going to the dentist and I don't know. I don't know what to compare it to. But yeah, you don't have to shut up about it. But it's just, I don't know. What do you think about that, Rob? You're a guitar guy. You know all about that. Where are you, Rob? Where is Rob Riggs? Jeez, man. So let's take a look at the Johnny Smith, you guys. So I put the original back on here. And this, the pots were totally dirty, and you put it all on. Rob Riggs, a fret leveling, ruined my telly for me once. That's what I'm saying. How much they going to take off? You know what I mean? Now I'm not. Maybe get it plaqued. I've never had a problem with something plaqued, but sometimes fret leveling is. Fretwork is a science. There's no question about it. And, I've got a friend that he worked for a Music Man and what's the other? Ernie Ball. And he, wanted to take guitar lessons. And I said, you teach me about frets, I'll teach you about some jazz. And so we're supposed to do that. Of course, we were going to do that a year ago and never did. Oh, man. Whew. This guitar now, with this pickup, is really sweet.
Well, let's show them really quick. So you got this guitar a couple weeks ago, and it had a different pickup setup. So the pickup setup was a new pickup setup that looked like this.
Right. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So single pickup.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you got that there. How long is this video we're going to watch?
I'm just giving them an idea of what it looked like before.
I see.
So like that's what it looked like when you got it, right?
That's correct.
And that's a brand new kind of pickup setup.
Yeah.
That the guy replaced the old thing that you have on there now with what you see there.
Right. It was a Lloyd Lower. I can't say that guy's name. Pickup, yeah.
So, I just wanted, because, not everyone saw this last week. And so
I see.
I just wanted them to see what it kind of looked like with the single pickup thing. So, and then now, now move your arm and so they could see what it looks like now.
Okay. Now it looks like this. This is the original.
Right.
So you got a front and back pickup. You got 4 knobs. Here is the switch between. There's the. That's both pickups. In the middle is the front pickup. In the back is the back pickup. So we get a real thin sound. But anyway, when I put it on and I plugged it into the amp in my little room there, Gail says, "Wow, that thing sounds really good, man. That sounds." It's a cool sounding guitar. Let me roll some of that off.
And that's just the front pickup, right?
Yeah. Here's the combo.
Wow, there's not much of a difference.
Let me turn that back. Yeah, there isn't. Yeah.
I mean, compared to other guitars, like,
Here's the back pickup.
there you go. Right. Okay, that sounds more like it.
But
that is a cool sounding guitar. It's definitely a different.
it really is. And I got sunshine on a cloudy day. The snare drum guitar, perfect for this cold outside. I got the month of May. So yeah, this would sound almost like a telly in the rhythm section, but yeah, that's beside. That's what Here is the money right here.
So, do you think it was a good thing to switch it back?
I do. I think it's more fun. I thought it was a pretty good sound already, but I think this is just as good, if not better. I like it. I like it a lot. So
Did the guy say why he made that change?
he didn't, and I tried to get a hold of him to say that, but he doesn't return my calls. No, I'm just kidding. He didn't say. Yeah.
So, what kind of work was it hard to redo that? It was just a matter of pulling the pick guard off and putting the new one on, but you had to do a little wiring or something, right?
Yeah, you got to do, yeah. So I pulled the harness off, and then it had a wire going to the tailpiece and then a wire going to the jack. I left the jack on the thing. I figured, well, I'll just put this on some other guitar someday. And so then it had a funky wire coming off of here going onto the tailpiece. So I left the tailpiece on there. It was pretty easy, just wire that up. What was really bothering me is the pots were all dirty, and I was thinking, oh God, I hope I don't. They cleaned up just beautifully. So that worked out great. So I'm very happy. Yeah, just, I couldn't get this last screw on there. I don't know why. It just didn't seem to want to line up. So.
Steven asks, what's the nut width on the Aria? But I believe he's referencing that guitar. It's an Ibanez.
11/16. And You know, a Johnny Smith is traditionally 1 3/4, as well as the Johnny Smith is 25-inch scale length, with a kind of a steeper neck angle, and I guess this has got that. I don't know. I'd have to. It's pretty hard to eyeball it, but but this is 24 3/4. No, 24.5. No, what is it? 24 3/4? Yeah, that's Gibson scale. So that's that.
So are you? Is that for sale? Are you selling that, or what are you doing? Because that. Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, that one is. I think that guitar could be worth keeping because it's so nice for being a 1977, right?
75. The
75?
first year they made this, that they did the lawsuits.
I mean,
They ripped off Gibson.
they don't get better than that.
It doesn't.
Like that thing looks super new.
Super. I think through the amp too, through an amp and not just through the board, I think you would get a beautiful sound.
Well, when are you gonna take that thing to a gig?
I don't have any gigs.
You need to get some.
I guess, yeah, I know. You'd think you'd want to do a lot of gigs, but something about staying home and watching TV with Gail, it's kind of fun.
I bet you would be wanting some more gigs if they paid you.
If they
well.
paid more, yeah, you're right, yeah. Bingo. You figure it takes all day almost, like, not all day, but, it's like you got to prepare a little bit, and iron your shirt, pack your car. I don't iron my shirts, but you know what I mean. So you want to play a song since it's St. Patrick's Day coming up? Should we do Danny Boy now on this? Or?
Sure, do it. Yeah, do it on that.
Okay.
Dave Branson says, so you're only selling the guitars that are not worth keeping. There's no rhyme or reason to what he sells and what he keeps. To be
All right,
honest
so
with you. It just is.
That 165 that I got that we played last week or the week before. It's like that thing was super nice and it sounded fantastic. And I thought, geez, I should keep this. And then I thought, and then I woke up. Well, actually, then I bought that. And so then I thought, well, you better can't keep it. So I sold it.
Yeah, at this point, you might as well open a music shop.
I don't have that much inventory.
Well, then just start keeping guitars and not,
Yeah.
a guitar museum. Well, at that point, couldn't you then write off every guitar that you buy? Well, you can do that anyway, right?
Yeah.
Maybe get a government grant to start a archtop museum.
That's a good idea. Government grant. There you go.
Yeah.
Let's face it, if you can get a grant to see how fast a shrimp runs, you could probably get one for anything. I knew a guy who wrote grants. I should have.
Yeah, I know someone that writes grants, and I don't think it's very hard. I think it's a lot harder than you think, or a lot easier than they make it out to be. But Adam Falk asks, is that guitar heavy? I picked one up just like that next to a Gibson Johnny Smith, and the Ibanez was pretty heavy in comparison.
Well, a Johnny Smith is the real Johnny Smith is solid top, so this is laminate top. So probably is a little heavier. I'll tell you what's heavy, man. Is this? That's heavy.
It's all that extra
What's
nickel
that?
plating.
3-piece neck and that nickel plating, or the gold plating. Guy at Sweetwater told me one pickup guitar sells slower than 2 pickups. That's true. People want the option. I don't, if it's a jazz guitar, I don't know why, but you want the versatility. So here's what I've been thinking. You know how I raised, by the way, I didn't raise the pickups off this. I think I'll do that, and we can compare it next week, because it's going to have a little more high end if I raise the pickup off of this. I don't know if I want that or not. So, but you know what I was thinking? If they made a pickup, all right, so you got a back pickup, right? That's you never use. But you don't want to just take it off. You got a hole there. What if you still had the pickup ring, took the pickup out, but you made a pickup ring that had speaker cloth on it? So it almost, you could get some more sound out of the guitar there, and it would be kind of pretty, get some pretty speaker cloth, What do you think about that idea?
I don't know. Interesting. Certainly.
What do you think, Rob?
Maybe like a like a little sound hole, right?
Yeah, it'd be a sound hole in the back.
Yeah, no, get some like nice tweed,
Yeah.
or like, even just like what's on this,
This here? Yeah.
this,
Something like that? Yeah.
that wouldn't look bad.
No. I'd be.
You can get the gold kind too. If
You
it's gold.
could get gold threads. Black with gold threads would look real pretty on that. But you want to do that? I don't know. I do.
Well, just do it. Buy a cheap thing and do it. Man, don't you have that?
Well, you don't need a cheap thing. You could just do it. You can always put it back.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay, so let's play a tune on this.
All right.
Okay. Jeez. I quit.
There you go.
Ted Green, he's got a version of that that's just knock your socks off.
Yeah. Someone, Mark R, who I think he's from Ireland. Yeah, Mark R is from Ireland, and he had some questions earlier that I'm going to get to, but he's asked if you had that arrangement as a lesson, and you do. Yes, 100%. Here it is. Danny Boy Simplified. There should be a link in the description.
There's a simple one and an advanced one. So there's two of them. Do the simple one first, and then you can see the added stuff for the other one.
Right. Let's see. I'm trying to add
I like Garrett's thing here. The back pickup ring is a frame for your girlfriend's photo. That's a good one. I like that. I'm sorry, Wes. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I did anyways.
I'm putting in the description the Google Doc of the archtop rating system.
Oh.
So it's in there. So you can go to it if you want it. I just pasted it into the description, and you can go to this public Google
Really?
Doc and make your own copy of it and do whatever you want with it.
Really?
So there you go. Yep.
Wow. How cool.
But yeah, anyway, there's a lot of questions, so we need to start taking some of them.
Go, buddy, go.
Let's see. Go way back up. On the road again. I would be interested to know the story of your career. What did you do after school, how you got started, and what you've done over the years? Thanks for all your videos. Maybe you could do a quick run through.
Well, I went to high school, and in high school I was in a band that was a recording band, and so was Jim Rolfe and Robin Riggs. They were in their own bands, being produced by this same guy, and Wayne Parker, and he got me and my other friend doing studio work, Pat Flynn. So we did a little bit of that. Pat he moved to Nashville and took it way further than I did. But I always did a little bit of that. Then I went to college, studied music for 2 years, went to the JC, that was at a JC with a wonderful teacher, Orby Ingersoll. I ended up playing gigs with him. And then I went to Northridge and realized this place sucks, man. You got to play classical guitar, and I didn't want to do that. So I quit. Plus, I couldn't find a parking spot. And so then after that, I went to, I always taught even before I had a driver's license, because it was better than flipping burgers, and it paid. You could do a guitar lesson for $3, or you could work at A&W Root Beer for $1.25. So and it was a half an hour for a guitar lesson. So I did that. Did a lot of that. Then I was playing at a club one night, and Dale Zedeni came in. He was a friend of the drummers. He liked my playing, and he asked me to teach at his store, and I did, and there was Ted Green. So I taught with Ted, and then Dale started his publishing company. I started writing for him, also proofreading all the manuscripts he would get in, and then I wrote some books, which, by the way, I got a royalty check, Wes, for $50.
Nice.
Yeah, and so then after that, when it was a kind of a crazy gig. I got to meet a lot of wonderful people: Joe DiArio, Tommy Tedesco, Ted Green. Well, like John Koenig and Ron Anthony, I helped them all on their books and stuff. So so the teaching has always been in the forefront. I did quit that job to go on the road to the Dick Clark show, and after a while, I got sick of that because the Dick Clark shows were the great ones. But if you're in the band and they want to keep the backup band together, you did all these low budget oldie shows, and that was kind of funky. So I quit that. I didn't quit that. I just stopped. I started sending a sub all the time, and when you send a sub more than you do it, then they end up with the gig. So then I just started doing, playing gigs and stuff. I had a little store called the Music Forum with teaching. I taught, and then I got a gig at GIT. Then we moved out of the area and figured I needed to make some money, so we did a guitar correspondence. That came Guitar College, and that's where we are, and that was 30 years ago. And I've been doing it ever since. So I play gigs, do some writing and recording, and this.
Lessons. You still do lessons and stuff on Skype.
I do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then we have all our lessons on video.
Right. Awesome. Thank you for that. Tweed Tone asked earlier, hey, Rich, do spruce tops sound darker / mellow when compared to laminated maple that I assume is sounding brighter?
I don't think so. I think it's almost the other way around. For some reason, I think spruce it's got that high-end buzz going on. That's my opinion. So the answer, I think, is no. You know, there's so many things that come into play on a guitar. The top, the sides, the back, the body depth, the pickup, the bridge, even the fretboard material, the tailpiece. You know, it all comes together when Mom sang along.
Timothy Antoine, have you ever tried a Cordoba Fusion nylon string guitar? I have an Eastman AR601, and the Cordoba has a 1.875 nut compared to the Eastman 1.75.
No, I never have. So didn't you say who bought Cordova?
Yamaha.
Yamaha bought Cordova, which Cordova owned Guild too, right?
Right.
So,
So Mark from Ireland, his question earlier was, hi, Rich, love the cutaway on that guitar. I think he's talking about the other guitar when you had it out, the 775. But anyway, your jazz etudes and lessons are amazing. Your influence is far and wide. Would you consider a lesson on Alfie sometime, please?
oh yeah, it's a great tune. Yeah.
So, yeah, well, I'll have to get him to do that. On the Road, again, asked, let's see, where, oh, he had it, another one. I would be interesting, no, shoot. I also might have the opportunity to purchase an original 1968 Gibson L5. What would you say is a safe price to pay as reverb prices are all over the place?
For a 68,
Yeah.
well, if you can get it anything under $10,000, I think you're doing great. They're all over the map, man. Well, there's a 68 right here.
All right.
Which, by the way, let's take a look at, Wes.
Sure.
Okay. So I'm going to put down the Johnny Smith here. By the way, Wes, you know what I'd like to do is a war between all of the guitars with floating pickups that I got.
Right.
And I gotta get rid of some.
Let's see.
So I just got this pickup or pick guard in. Benny Rodriguez made me that. Do you know Benny Robin Riggs? Do you know Benny? He's from Newbury Park, and then now he lives in the Bay Area. He knows Basil. He worked over there with Tom Anderson. Just throwing it out there. Hi, Kirby. Anyway, so here is a 68. So I've seen 68s with the round cutaway and some with the sharp cutaway. So I don't know.
Another question here, real quick. Crap, where did it go? Never mind. I can't find it.
Why don't you do news?
Oh, here you go. Dana Jones question: have you always not used a pick when playing, and do you offer a beginner course on learning guitar? And what, if any, acoustic guitars do you own?
What was the question?
Have you always not used a pick when playing?
No, I use a pick all the time. Yeah, I always, yeah, I absolutely. I mean, I've struggled with this pick for half century. So,
And there are some beginner courses that he has, but
Yes.
you have to know a little bit. You can't be like the first time you pick up a guitar.
right, yeah, it's not guitar preschool. It's guitar college. So you got to know a little something, and but we get you, but try to teach you the right way, learning the cage system, scales all over the neck, learning what the heck you're playing, getting you playing, dexterity builders in the beginning, very important. So Wes,
Hold on. What?
why don't you do the news?
Okay.
Thanks.
We need to get through some of these questions, man.
Okay,
like,
we'll do
honestly.
the news. We'll go do the questions, if you don't mind.
Okay.
I'll be right back. You do the news. I'll be right back.
All right, hurry up.
All right.
All right, so we mentioned this earlier that, Yamaha Group is now the owner of Cordoba, Guild, and D-Armond pickups. There was a recent takeover in the guitar world. So Yamaha owns a ton of stuff, obviously. And so Cordoba Music Group was included the portfolio for Guild and D-Armond pickups. And so we're going to have to wait and see what changes with Guild. Obviously, Guild has been making guitars for a long time. Cordoba is more of an acoustic guitar manufacturer, really kind of high-end stuff, really cool woods. But it's going to be interesting to see, obviously, what comes, if there's any changes, if Guild still continues to make their jazz guitars, or maybe comes out with any new ones. And then also, there's also this new music sale, Steve Vai. I mean, we always seems like that guy's always making guitar publicity. Whoever his publicist is doing well, because we're always talking about him. Almost every week there's a story about him in the big guitar websites. But this one, now he's teaming up with Reverb to he is selling his childhood home practice rig. And it's all this gear that he's used to, make himself who he is today, I guess. But it's kind of misleading, to be honest. They call it like, childhood home practice rig. It's not the stuff that he played as a child. Obviously, he didn't play this signature. This is a signature model Ibanez JEM-7. It's and yeah. So this is basically he has had this set up at his parents' house, and every time he would travel to New York as an adult and as already an established player, he would, when he saw by his parents' house and visit with them, he would play this stuff.
Oh.
And so there's this Ibanez 7-string. There's this Carvin Legacy.
Oh yeah, that's a cool amp.
Yeah, and then he's got a couple pedals that he has, the classic Boss distortion, this digital delay pedal, Crybaby Wah Wah pedal, and then there's this this Stratocaster thing. I can't remember what.
Signed by everybody, huh?
Right. Yeah, it's got a bunch of signatures on it. But anyway, if you look at the prices of it, there's your low price of $49,000 for this. I'm assuming it's a lot of the prices for this nifty handle that it that it has on there, so you can quickly grab it and pick it up.
That's worth something, I'll tell you.
Yeah, no, it's definitely cool for sure. But yeah, so that's kind of the latest thing from Steve Vai, is he's getting rid of some of these this little practice thing that he kept at his parents' house. So he says that he's been using this guitar and this amp and all this stuff over the years for the last few decades. Every time he stops by his parents' house. And let's see. I put a lot of hours on this gear when I'm in New York, and yeah, he said he just left the gear there, and
God, look at how much.
And
that is.
yeah,
He's giving that stuff away.
right?
$8,000 for that amp.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you know Steve even owned it?
Well, he's signed it all now.
Oh, he signed it.
Yeah, that's there, and I'm sure if you're paying $49,000 for a guitar, then then you're going to get some sort of certificate with it that says, hey, this was, it's not going to just come in a box and be like, here's the guitar. So I don't know. That's what. So there you go. If you're interested, and
cool.
Good job to Steve Vai for making it into Guitar News yet again.
That's funny. Good for him. It's crazy. You know what I'm hoping to see in Nashville? Denny Jarosz is going to be there, and he's good buddies with some of these guys in the Gibson Nashville plant, and they restored Wes Montgomery's guitar. And he told me a story about holding it. He said, I got to hold Wes Montgomery's guitar, and so I'm hoping they bring that to the show. Wouldn't that be cool? Yeah.
Hopefully.
Said, man, I was shaking. I was like, oh man.
Hopefully no one drops it.
Well, this is one that was in the fire, supposedly some fire, and so they I don't know how they restore that, but they did. I noticed some things on here. Jacob, what's happening, man? Wes, who was the previous owner of Cordova? I think they were their own entity, weren't they?
Yeah. I don't know the question to that, but I would assume they were just started as their own company until they got big enough to where there was worth.
Yeah.
Or there still there. Cordova was its own company before Yamaha just bought them, because Cordoba Music Group owned Guild and DeArmond and a few other things. So Cordoba Music Group owned Cordoba until just in the last couple weeks when they were taken over by Yamaha.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So they've been growing for a while. I guess you could say, being able to buy Guild a while back. I don't know when that happened, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Somebody asked, what's the history of Guild? You know, they gave Gibson a run for the money back in the day. You know, maybe would they start off early 50s, maybe late 40s? I don't know exactly. In Rhode Island, I think, New York, Rhode Island. So yeah, old Guilds love them. Love them. They've got a different fret. They're just different, man. They're a little different guitar. Hi, Rich. Quick question. Do you have any advice on diagnosing a rattle buzz in an archtop? It's definitely not the pickups or the fret. It could be the wire to the pickup or the frets bouncing around in there. So you want to check that out. Any other things, Wes?
Yeah, there's a ton.
All right, let's do them.
Old West asks your thoughts on a George Benson LGB 30 for $1,000.
LGB, what is that? A transgender guitar or what? All right, no
Maybe
thoughts.
lefty George Benson. I don't know.
No thoughts on that. I've never played one. You know, guitars in that price range and with modern equipment, the way they're made, you know, that's, you know, you really can't beat it, you know. So I think you'll probably be just fine with those. I've never played one, so I have no idea.
All right. Osvaldo Lom asked, does the Yosemite class include tablature and music notation in the resources?
Does what class?
The Yosemite class,
Oh,
so the camp,
the camp.
does it include music that has tablature and notation?
Well, it's in notation. There's no tablature for the music. Maybe that's an issue. I don't know. I think you got to be able to read some of the notes. You gotta read notes and not just tabs. So figure it out. You've got to figure it out. Watch the video. I play everything, not slowly, but I have a lot of lessons on those songs. So.
Little George Benson is LGB.
Oh, okay.
Mark R.
That's Norman Brown. Little George Benson. That's what we used to call him at GIT. They got a nickname, Little George Benson, Norman Brown. Super nice guy, great player.
Yeah, I actually was eating dinner at a restaurant a couple weeks ago or so, and I was like, man, what is this song that's playing? This guy's guitar sounds awesome.
Yeah.
It's great. And it was a Norman Brown song. I Shazammed it.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so I remember playing a gig. Okay, so I got a gig. Oh, shit. Sale tag. Playing a gig in Fresno, and Norman came to town, and because I knew him from GIT, he came to town. I went to his rehearsal. It was a big, huge banquet room. This was when he first came out. And so he goes there, and he's playing. And I'm looking around, I'm thinking, wow, that's fantastic. And then I go to my little gig at this restaurant, and there's 5 people. I was very, very unhappy. But as it turns out of the 5 people, one of them became a student and actually got me on the internet. So I guess all things work out.
Mark R. says, speaking of big guitars, I got a Jim Triggs Super 400 copy.
Oh, nice.
18-inch lower bout, because I love Scotty Moore. Mm-hmm. I was devastated how uncomfortable it was at first. By the way, has Rich got any Scotty Moore licks?
No, but I have a friend that knew him quite well. I don't have any licks, Scotty Moore licks. So, you know, you got to make sure when you hold a big fat guitar, you're not holding it like this. You hold it across like this. It could be 20 inches. It doesn't matter.
All right, Dave Branson asked, I think he left already, but with the crazy weather you've been getting, are you having to do anything special while working on your guitars?
No, but you know what? I've got humidifiers in my guitars, and I started looking at them, and we've had I thought I got to get these things out of here, because now we got too much humidity. All the gold is getting all, filmy and stuff. So it's like, yeah. So you got to get it. It's 100% humidity over here for a while. So yeah, you got to be careful with that. That's the problem with guitars. The wood likes humidity. The metal doesn't. The metal likes the dry. The wood doesn't. Hey, Catherine Cox, hi. What is the make and model of pickup you have fitted to the... Oh, yeah, so this is the stock. It's called a Super 70. These are the stock pickups to the Ibanez Johnny Smith.
I think that's it, except for Jason, Jason. Any Wayne Shorter tunes in the hopper, maybe?
No, I can start looking around. Hey, it just reminded me, Bobby Caldwell passed away. Did you know that, Wes?
Yeah. I don't even know who that is, to be honest. No.
Oh. So yeah, he was an artist and songwriter. What won't do, but will not do. What you won't do for love. And then he came out with Sinatra tribute. He was like before Rod Stewart, before Steve Tyrell, before Michael Bublé. He had big band arrangements of those tunes. He does Beyond the Sea, and they're frickin'. That album is a fantastic album. You should get that album. His rendition of Guess I'll Hang My Tears Out to Dry, fantastic. So anyway, he was a songwriter too, and guy I knew from even when he was a little kid, Ryan Green. He was his engineer at EMI, and anyway, the guy was really talented. We saw him in Vegas at a Rat Pack tribute show. That was pretty neat. It was the Rat Pack, Bobby Caldwell as Sinatra. I forget the Dean Martin guy and the Sammy Davis Jr. guy, but anyway, they're all yucking it up. And then all of a sudden, they say, "Okay, now we're going to bring up our competition. Let's hear it for Bobby Darin." So, guess who gets up and does Bobby Darin? David Cassidy, and he did fantastic. David, another fella who's gone now, but that was really special. And I guess Cassidy produced that show. I forget what hotel it was, a Desert Inn, I think, or something. But anyway, that's another little thing from Bobby Caldwell. Anyway, too bad. He got sick, Wes, 6 years ago from Citra. What's the antibiotic called? Gail, help me out.
I have no idea.
Citro. It's a very powerful antibiotic. And I have another friend that got really sick from that antibiotic. Be careful what you put in your body.
Yeah. A. Robertson asks, is the Mickey Baker jazz course any good?
Well, that's what I had, all these inversions, It's I don't know. Yes, it is good. Yes, it is good. So yeah, it sure ain't gonna hurt you. You're gonna use those chords and stuff. Mickey Baker. So I did this oldies show, like you see on public TV, the oldies show. They came to Fresno, and I played with them, and I forget the guys' names. The guys in the Lion Sleeps Tonight, and the guy that Jay and the Americans and stuff. And we were talking about studio guitarists in New York, and they all said Mickey Baker was the man. Mickey Baker was the man there. So that's good. A little info there.
Jason Brandt, I think you already answered this, but just go over it quickly again. Quick question. Do you have any advice on diagnosing a rattle/buzz in an archtop? It's definitely not the pickups or frets.
Oh, yeah. Well, I already said that.
I know he must have missed it, so just say it again.
Oh, he said it again. Oh, okay. Well, it might be a wire rattling around if it's hanging on the back of the guitar. If it's on the floor of the guitar, it might be a wire. So, Rob Briggs, do you have any ideas on that? What kind of guitar is it? Did he say what kind?
No.
Yeah. So it's a wire probably. Maybe the pickup is a little loose. I don't know. It's sometimes you get something like that, drive you nuts.
Yeah. All right. That's it for questions. It's a Heritage Super Eagle.
Oh, really? Man, good
Yeah.
for you. But I think you ought to sell that to me. That Super Eagle, and then I'll fix it. I can't imagine that it would be. I don't know what it would be. I have no idea. No idea. So you just bang around with it, see maybe something's in there. I don't know.
Robin said could be a loose brace as well.
Oh, thank you, Rob. Boy, now how would you'd have to take, is it mounted pickups? Is there a hole so you can get your hand in there and look around? You know what I bought for, it was $20, man. It hooks on your phone. It's one of these little lights, a camera with a light on the end. You can stick it in there and look around. It's really cool. Maybe something like that so you can see. Boy, if it's a brace, I don't know what to tell you about that. Yeah, it's luthier, a quality luthier thing. Want to play a song?
Yeah, there's another question here. What do you think about I'm guessing you mean Ice Water Productions, Gretsch, George Van Epp's 7-string?
Oh, yeah.
Is it a jazz guitar?
Well, yeah, George, yeah. It's got a low B, he was the 7-string king guy. I don't like 7-string guitars. They're just that low note doesn't sound like a guitar to me. It sounds like a bass. It's too low. So Rob Riggs says if it's a Heritage, it probably isn't structural.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Unless it's got some damage or something.
Yeah.
But most Heritages are kept pretty nicely.
I wonder
especially a Super Eagle.
Yeah, is it in the body? It's not in the neck, is it? Wouldn't be the truss rod run. I doubt it would be that. I made a decision on this pickup. Remember we were talking about how ugly, these pickups have gotten, and should I redo the covers or not? And talking with Greg, these are PAF pickups, and they're not the patent pending. They're PAFs, but they're after that. They're the second version of them. Not a big fan of those. And so Greg said, why don't you put some other Gibson pickups on there? Just replace the pickups. And then you still got these with all the tarnish and all that crud when you go to sell it. So I think I'll do that. I have to take a look of how many I've got pickups spilling out of my little thing. I got a lot of pickups hanging around. So maybe we'll do that.
Alexi says he likes the vintage vibe. Don't mess with them. So yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Joe Bell though did say I had trouble with my Super Eagle buzzing, and it was the wiring against the top.
Yeah. So
get that camera, that little.
camera.
It's like for like plumbing and stuff like that, right?
Well, you can do it. It's pretty neat. You could put it in your ear. You can put it up your nose. Or,
Yeah, give yourself a colonoscopy, right?
You can see if you got a problem up there, I suppose. But you might want to throw it away after that. But it's got this lights and you can adjust how bright it is, and you can get in there and look. It's a little hard to control because it magnifies so much. It's like you got to get it back a little ways to see what's in there. But another thing that guys do, god dang it, is they take their phone and put it in here upside down. Take a picture of what's in there so you can kind of see it in there. And if there is wiring onto the top there, just it's something minor. You can get in there and just kind of tweak it a little bit, and it might be good. A bit of wool wire solves a lot Oh, interesting. Yeah, the old wiring, huh? I imagine if you put heat shrink on that kind of stuff, it would help it as well. Wes Cullum had me falling out of my chair. Yeah.
There you go. Oh, that reminds me. I am accepting tips too for my comedic genius.
Are you saving up for a colonoscopy?
Oh shit! I'm gonna need one pretty soon here. What age do you have to get that done?
50.
Okay, good. Still got some years. Thank God. Yeah.
Don't go by me. I'm no doctor. I just play one on the live stream.
But yeah, anyway, if you do want to give me a tip, there's a link in the description for my, all my hard work on this live stream here. So, love it if you'd help me out.
Yeah, help them out.
Volunteer services. But yeah. Anyway, Danielle Emberly says she had an AR 371 CE where there was a loose nut on the threaded rod supporting the pick guard. Could not detect with fingers alone, had to tighten it with a tool. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, those buzzes drive you nuts. I've been fortunate. I haven't really experienced any of that. I've had students bring me guitars and stuff over the years that had a funny buzz, and it's like weird. So up jump spring. Spring is just around the corner, right?
Yeah. Paulo, Paulo says he really wants to see this Royce Smeck banjo, man. We're gonna have to bring that out.
I got to get a new head for it.
Where do you get a new head? You have to order that.
I don't know.
from
I
Sweetwater
thought you could go to a drum shop and get one, but apparently
it's not the same, right?
Apparently not.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine you can just get a regular drum. But I mean, they gotta have them at Sweetwater, right?
No, why would Sweetwater have that?
They have. I'm sure they sell banjos. They sell everything in music. They even sell video equipment and stuff now.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's big money.
Well, what? banjo snares aren't big. Yeah. All right. So what are you gonna play?
Now wants the first colonoscopy at 40.
Oh, bummer. Well, I missed the cut. You better wait till 50.
You better get in there. Ain't nothing like a good colonoscopy to make you appreciate life.
Yikes. Not looking forward to that.
Patrick Evans. Hi, Pat. Okay, so Up Jump Spring, Freddie Hubbard tune. Fun little tune. And it's on the website. I'm going to play it, Wes. You might have to adjust the track.
Okay, got it.
Well, let me try that again. Just kidding.
So a couple of suggestions for your banjo here.
Oh, good.
Stu Mac
Oh, Stu Mac.
and Scooter 500 says elderly instruments might be a good resource for
Okay.
banjo supplies. And then Paulo says Roy Smeck, the Wizard of Strings.
Yes.
Those were the days.
Yeah. McCabe's. Why do you say McCabe's? And John Pierce. Okay, well, you won't feel. I'd rather get a colonoscopy than give one.
This is true.
So why is it, Wes? You'll want to get your really prepared because, okay, so when you go to get a colonoscopy, they take you in the room there. And I've been to a lot of doctors, and the nurses, they're all like older women and stuff. But when you go to get a colonoscopy, you get these girls that look they're about 22 years old, and now you're like, okay, what do they start them out there? They start them out in the nurse thing. You got to go through this first, and then you can become another nurse. You gotta go through this mess first. It's embarrassing. Anyway, so Garrett's coming to camp, and we also had a new sign up, and I saw his name on here earlier. Did you see it?
Osvaldo?
Yeah, Ozzy is. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, he's coming to camp.
Awesome.
Garrett's coming. Jim Rolfe's coming. Chris used to come. Chris, are you coming again? I forget. The acoustic shop. Okay, well, good to know you guys. I appreciate that. The prep the day before the colonoscopy is the worst.
Why? What's that? Can't eat? You have to take a special.
They give you something that cleans like a white tornado.
Nice.
Yeah, you'll yeah. Yeah. Hey, shall we hear the L4 compared to the one?
Yeah. Well, we need to kind of hear one of them, hear that one again.
Well, let me play. Yeah, okay, I'll play this one a little bit.
Play the same thing for both if you can.
Okay. Should I do the track?
Yeah.
Well, I'll just play part of something.
Right, exactly.
How about here? That's The Days of Wine and Roses, which is a tune that we're going to be doing at the camp this year, which is filling up, but we always have some last minute cancellations, people. But so if you want to do it, you gotta get with it. So this is the difference is that's a spruce top. I mean, this is a spruce solid top, and that's a maple top. I feel like B.B. King. The last time I saw B.B. King, he had to have help all the time putting on his guitar straps. And it was about a 10-minute ordeal. That's how I feel. Let's try it again with, let me make sure this is tuned.
Garrett says that's the best sounding guitar yet. The 775.
Garrett said that?
Yeah. And Chris said, I thought so too. It's pretty, it is dark though, man. But then again, so is this guitar. This guitar's, I bet they sound a lot alike. That was my prediction.
Hear that high-end kind of thing going on with this? Maybe it's tough to hear it over the internet. Oops. Let's see. two wonderful guitars side by side. Which do you think sounds the best? What do you think, Wesley?
God, they sound similar. There's no doubt about that. They're, I think the L4 probably.
Well, I think, yeah, it's pretty close, isn't it?
It's really close, yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think is better? The other one just sounds darker. I think that one, like you said, has at least a little shimmer maybe on the top.
Yeah.
Is that, do you think, from the wood?
I think so. Plus, the pickup is raised off the top here, so it's not too fair, but comparison, but it's close.
Right.
Well, what do you think, Wes? Do you think we ought to call it a day?
Yeah, unless anybody has any other questions. Adel says, do you use band in a box for your tracks?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
WC Ray says the Ibanez wins.
Yeah. I hear you. It's got its own sound, doesn't it? Yeah, dang it.
What Paulo says he's never seen a 775 before. What does 775 number stand for?
I have no idea. No idea.
Yeah, Calvin says 775 is much warmer sounding. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, maybe if you lower the pickups on the 775. Well, these are actually closer than these. So anyway. Well, look at you guys. Next week, we don't know if there's going to be a live stream on Thursday. I doubt it. I don't know, but please hang tight. Maybe we will. What do you think?
I mean, it just depends on if you want to bring camera stuff to.
Oh, yeah, we'd have to do it with a phone.
Oh, well, we're definitely not doing that. That's
Okay.
for sure. But I mean, all you need is one camera and a computer. It's not like you have to bring everything, you know.
True, yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe is there a place maybe we could go to do it, or I don't know.
I don't know. We'll have to look. We'll have to think hard about it. But if not, we'll see you the week after,
Right.
and we're going to tell you all about Nashville. And anyway, but thank you so much again. If you guys don't show up, we won't either. I really appreciate you doing it. Thank you for our regulars who show up for this thing, and stay the whole time. It's crazy. Okay, good night, Aunt B. We'll see you guys next week with a new show.